everyone. Welcome to our last day of camp, travel around the world. Today we get to go to Mexico and we're going to create our own metal embossed sugar skulls celebrating Dia de los Muertos or Day of the Dead. So we're going to have a little help with our design um, that we have in our kits. We're going to create our own design and then we're going to learn how to carve into metal. It's a little bit different. End up with a finished sugar skull. Okay, so this is our third and final project for traveling around the world camp. And today we get to travel to Mexico and celebrate Dia de los Muertos or Day of the Dead. And because we all live in Southern California, we probably are a little bit more familiar or have seen some of the images related to this. And this is just a celebration of family members and loved ones that have passed away, gone before us, and to try to remember them and keep their spirits alive. So today we're going to work on making a sugar skull, and we're going to create our design in metal. And we're going to do something called metal embossing. It's really fun. The more that you work on it, the more interesting the designs are going to be. So in each of your art kits, you should have gotten one of these pages with the sample designs of 6 different sugar skulls. You are welcome to use that design completely if you feel nervous about creating your own drawing. You have your white paper, you have your samples here, your white square paper, you should have your metal piece, you should have a chopstick for engraving. You need one of these small dowel rods that has the pointier end. That'll be for the details. You definitely need a magazine. Something when you're working on the metal, you've got to have something that has a little bit of give but support at the same time. So working on the table does not work well for it. You want to be on a magazine when you're working on the metal part. So let's see, you've got your metal, your design paper, your sample designs, a pencil and or a pen like this, and we're going to go ahead and get started. So I did one design earlier, and I think I'm going to go ahead and pick another design. I might go ahead and put I'm going to call this the white design paper, over top of one of the skulls. You'll see it'll fit nicely in there. It's sized just right for it. And you can go ahead and trace the outside of the skull shape. I'm going to go ahead and take mine off, and I'm going to draw the rest of it by myself, but I'm going to use these designs to kind of give me some ideas. So hopefully you can see my drawing right here. I've got just the outline of the skull right now. And I'm going to go ahead and add the eyes. The eyes sit kind of low on the face, big round kind of sockets. And usually with the sugar skulls, everything is pretty symmetrical. And you all probably remember this term when you study butterflies or study design and art. But it just means that whatever I do on this side, I do on this side. And it's okay if it's not perfect. We don't expect for you to be perfect. Now we want to make sure that we get the nose design. And you can see just from looking at your page with the ideas on it, the nose area in the skull kind of looks like an upside down heart. So that's always how I draw it, just a little upside down heart underneath the eyes. Can you see that? Okay. And I'm gonna go ahead and just start doing, I just noticed this one right here has a mustache. I like his mustache. I'm gonna go ahead and add the teeth as well. So I think once we described it as kind of making like a little fence, I just generally draw a straight line. And then I just add the lines of the fence, if you want to call it that, down the center. And then I just connect the top and the bottom, and it kind of gives you the shape of the teeth without feeling like you have to draw each of them individually. So it's kind of a nice, easy way to get all those teeth there on that sugar skull. Use those as ideas. If you feel like you want to copy from that, it's fine. Just have fun with it. Have fun finishing your design here. I'm going to go ahead and do when you're finished, you are going to take your magazine, and you're going to put that in front of you. You're going to put your metal right underneath of your drawing. So your drawing is going to fit exactly on top of the metal. And then I would suggest taking a little piece of tape. I forgot to bring the tape over here, but I would suggest just taking a little piece of tape and just taping it right onto the magazine. And that way your drawing isn't going to move when you are engraving it. So you're going to have to press with some force here. So we're going to take the pencil and we're going to trace over every line that we've drawn. If you would prefer to use the point on a pen like this, that's fine too. So it should be pretty much an exact replication. And now what you guys are going to do, first we're going to use the chopstick and kind of use that for making those indentations a little bit deeper. And then we'll use that fine little stylus stick with the point, and that will give all of the details just a little bit finer, since it has that nice little point. So the key too, when you're embossing on metal, is that you want to continue to flip your metal piece back and forth. So you want to work from the front side and you want to work from the back side. So right now I'm kind of reinforcing these lines by using this wooden dowel, which is a little bit thicker and heavier than the pen that I was using to trace the lines. I'm kind of going around the bigger parts, like the skull shape, around that ear part. And this is all on the front side that I'm doing this. So this is kind of by pushing down around the skull, it's making the skull kind of pop up off the paper a little bit. Now I'm going to go ahead and turn it over and work on the back. So like I'm pushing in, embossing it's called, inside the middle of the nose. So when I push down from the back and do that, what happens when I flip it over to the front side? Yeah, it gets pushed up on the front side. So now you can see that that's raised really nice. You have a really nice nose that's been raised. some of these little swirls. So I'm just using this and kind of pushing down around each of them. And then when you flip it over, you'll see some of these areas are going to be raised, some of the areas are going to be low. I'm going to go down into that flower down on the chin here. And so every time you just keep adding new lines, new details, going around the edges, using the small one, using the larger stylus stick, you're gonna just see more and more of the shape start to emerge and the textures and the details start to emerge. Just because you've gone one time over it doesn't mean you're finished. The more that you work with the metal, the more interesting designs, the more dots, the more lines that you use, all of that, the more interesting it's going to look at the end. So you can see here in this final one, I decided to use my chopstick stylus to kind of go around the entire skull and give some texture. And if that's something that you want to do, then you can decide which way. If you want it to be pushed in and make your skull kind of raise up, then you're just going to kind of go around the whole skull, and you're just going to create these textured lines. Try to go in the same direction all the way around, and it'll make that skull really pop out. If you want to do some cross hatching, you can go back and go along those lines, make it a little bit finer. Gives it some really neat texture there. The nose looks like it got pushed in a little bit. Okay. So you're just going to want to keep working on your metal until you feel like you're done. And then you can mount it onto the little square piece of paper that we have put there for your frame. And I hope you enjoyed making a sugar skull with me for Dia de los Muertos.